Hey guys, this girl got game. Welcome back to Hustle Cat. We're gonna do HAYES route now. I'm super excited. So I've skipped through the introduction because that's the same thing as it was last time. Nothing new to see there, and this is our first choice. So instead of being super thirsty for Landry, we're just gonna be like very professional, business-like. Actually, I'm here about a job. Oh. His pause is brief, but it worries me a little. Is it really that surprising that someone would come in and ask about a job? Did I do it wrong? Did I do wrong, Landry?
Oh, great. We don't get a lot of responses. I think it's because Mr. Graves only puts the sign up in the window.
Mr. Graves. What's your first name, Graves? So Graves is his last name. Sorry, getting ahead of myself, as usual.
He doesn't want to advertise anywhere.
Good thing I came in then, huh?
You're right.
His smile is broad, but his eyes creep to the back of the cafe like he's looking for an escape.
Okay, you can take a seat, and I'll go get the owner. He'll be able to tell you a little more about what he's looking for.
You got it.
Oh, and, what's your name?
Avery.
Avery. Cool. I'm Landry. Nice to meet you. Okay, I'll be right back.
He bounds up the stairs and disappears. I begin to sit at the little cafe table, but freeze halfway as I hear a faint exclamation of dismay.
Ah!
It's followed by thundering footsteps and by Landry's return.
Avery, I'm so sorry.
Huh? What?
I didn't offer you any coffee. Would you like some?
I was wondering, like, oh really? So just because we weren't all friendly, you're not gonna offer me a nice cup of coffee? Shame, Landry. Oh, don't scare me like that. Sure.
You got it.
He vanishes into the back again and reappears, carefully balancing a stout white mug atop a black saucer in one hand and a tiny creamer in the other. Gently he sets the mug and creamer before me.
I forgot to ask how you take your coffee, so I brought you some milk. There's sugar on the table if you'd like it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I'll check with Graves this time, I mean it.
Interesting how that played out so differently. He didn't make coffee the way he likes it. Landry bounds to the back room and is again out of sight. A Siamese cat timidly peers at him as he goes, then directly at me with a wide-eyed, worried look. Aw, poor HAYES. I give it an awkward smile and nod before I realize I'm treating a cat like a stranger in an elevator. I dump most of the milk and 3 sugar packets into my coffee before I can get it to the consistency I like. I pour what should be a little splash of extra milk, but half the creamer's worth spills in. It almost overflows. Oh, not again. No. This cat's looking at me like it's offended by what I just did. What? Like a cat knows anything about coffee. Oh, when Landry finally returns, he's not alone. Okay, stop fangirling over Graves. Stop it.
This is Graves, the owner of the cafe. Graves, this is Avery.
He looks like he should own a bookstore that insists it sells tomes, not books. Or maybe like he sells crystals that balance your chakras. Or maybe this is what the owners of cat cafes look like. I've never seen... Ah! Oh my. His eyes, they're 2 different colors. I can't focus on both of them at the same time. Which one am I supposed to look at? My attention is sucked into his icy blue eye. Is he wearing a contact to complete his dark Renaissance look? This guy.
I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this.
Eh?
He had the eye of a vulture. A pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever.
Excuse me?
Telltale heart, you were looking at my eye. Kids, didn't you read that in high school?
Well, yeah, but...
Iridis heterochromia. It's more common in cats than humans.
What a weirdo. I'm not sure I want to work for a guy like this.
Get out of the way, Avery, for someone who does.
My goodness. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. I might as well humor him a bit. If this guy's gonna sign my paychecks, he can rattle off as many weird cat facts as he wants.
Grace, would you mind telling Avery a bit about the place? I think it'd be good if you talk about what we do here. He's like, ugh! Graves looks like the notion is causing him physical pain. I gotta talk to another human.
I'm not too keen on this idea either, Chief.
You didn't do that already. Don't you think it sounds better coming from the owner? You're going to be doing the interview anyway.
Good point. Landry, this cafe would collapse into rubble without you around to keep me on track.
Alright, Avery. I didn't prepare a speech, so you'll have to forgive me.
I'm a little surprised to hear that, but I guess there aren't any Poe stories that he can quote for the situation.
Yeah. I like to take care of strays. I like coffee. I like good desserts. I like a beautiful room.
Alright, this man knows what he likes.
I wanted a place where I could have all of those at once. That's how a cat's paw was born. The cats here are from the neighborhood. Usually they want to come here, so I don't have to convince them to come in. Forever home. Pithy. Hate that term. But the cats who want to be adopted are listed on the wall over there. I'm a good matchmaker for people and cats. I can tell who's a good fit for the cat's personality. If they meet my standards, they've got a new family member.
It's good you help them find homes like that.
Well, if I had the room, I'd just keep them all.
He totally means that, doesn't he? Huh. Landry's right, this is much better coming from the owner. Cool, I get to be interviewed by a cat hoarder. I don't know, it's probably better that way, right?
Who knows? Follow me. We'll talk on the second floor.
Before he finishes the sentence, he's already 3 steps up the stairs to the balcony. So much for the introduction to the cafe, I guess. How much more of an introduction do you need, girl? I shake my head a little and follow him. After all, I really need a job. We make our way up to the second floor balcony, which, except for us, is only occupied by those amazing-looking cakes in the display case. I wonder if I can get a slice on my way out. Graves leans down over the balcony of the cafe and raises his voice to the people below. Or to the cats, I guess, since cats are the only things I can see from here.
Hayes, will you get us some coffee?
Is that the chef? I haven't seen anybody here besides him and Landry. Oh, I already had a cup.
Is that going to stop you from another? You can't have enough coffee, especially when Hayes is the one making it.
I don't think I met Hayes.
You may have. You might not know yet.
Graves folds himself into the slender chair at a corner table. He pushes the opposite chair away with his foot, nudging it just enough to turn it towards me.
Come on, sit down. Let's talk. You don't have to be so stiff. Interviews are boring. Make it interesting for both of us.
No pressure, huh? Graves sits with a sort of grim pomp, like he's sitting in a skull throne and a raven's going to land on his shoulder at any time. Maybe it's more like he's about to roll a die with a lot of sides. I bet he's a nerd. I take the seat across from him. It'd be amazing, though. If he plays Dungeons and Dragons.
And just so you're aware, we aren't starting without coffee.
Okay.
You can talk, of course. I meant the interview.
Okay. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a tiny slip of a blonde man sitting at the balcony, standing at the balcony entrance. Ah! I jump a little. When did he get here? I didn't hear anybody come up the stairs at all. He's a ninja cat. Is this guy a ghost? Graves looks like the type to hire ghosts. He looks terrified by my shout. I think I scared him more than he scared me. Gingerly, he sets 2 mugs in front of Graves.
Thank you, Hayes, but you should give Avery the other mug.
He sounds like he's reminding a child to say thank you.
Of course.
Hayes glances up at me. Our eyes meet for a millisecond before he suddenly finds something very important to focus on downstairs. He pushes the cup toward me without looking back up. Thank you. Graves' ring clacks against the porcelain of the cup as he takes a drink.
Perfect as always. I don't know what I did without your coffee. It's nothing special, really.
He talks like it's the first time he's spoken today. Quiet and a little hoarse.
If that's all, I'll go back to the cats. That's fine.
Bye, Hayes. We'll romance you later. Hayes slips back down the stairs just as quietly as he arrived. That kid would make a great ninja. I look down at the coffee and see a sleepy cat face staring up at me from the foam. That's still so cute. I've only ever seen latte art on the internet before. Did Hayes really do this? I take a sip. It's not bad if you like coffee, I guess, but it could really use some sugar. There are packets on the table, but I can't bring myself to ruin the foam cat.
Now we can get this going. Let's interview. I'll even start you off easy. What's your favorite breed of cat?
Alright. So I'm told the answers don't really matter, but I'm gonna try and pick what I think Hayes would appreciate anyway. So Siamese, because of Hayes.
Do you know any other languages? How about ciphers?
I speak the language of dance. Let's pick this one for a change.
What marine animal would you say best represents you?
How about a penguin?
What genre of music would you use to describe your work ethic?
Classically hardworking?
On a scale from 1 to 10, rate me as an interviewer.
7.5 always.
Draculas or teenage wolves?
Draculas!
Just kidding with that last one. Aw. Interesting. Good. I like interesting people.
He leans forward, appraising me with this terrible smirk on his face. He's like the cat who ate the canary, or got into the bowl of cream. Maybe I don't want to be interesting by his standards, but it feels kind of flattering nonetheless. Thank you.
You start tomorrow.
Wow, great! Thank you!
Don't run off yet. I have paperwork for you.
Oh yeah, of course. Graves pushes away from the table, coffee cup in hand. He nabs my saucer, even though I'm not quite finished, and slinks down the stairs. He returns as if he'd never left, trading the empty coffee cups for a small stack of papers and a pen. He places them in front of me. So what will my job be?
We'll see.
Did he hire me with no position in mind? Is this how this guy usually works? I feel like I'm in a daze. Too much info and too much coffee. I take the papers and skim them, signing pretty much anywhere I see an X and a line. Should have read the contract. What's it all for, and why is there so much? Probably taxes and, magic cat curses stuff, I don't know. And who cares? I've got a job! I push the papers back towards Graves, and he eagerly scoops them off the table.
Perfect. We open at 11. Be here at 8. We'll have you help with the morning prep.
My displeasure must be pretty apparent, because his mouth cracks into another smirk.
You can work a later shift after training. You won't have to deal with those cursed mornings for too long.
Okay, that's fine.
Now go. I have a lot of work to do before tomorrow. You need to get to work fixing that sleep schedule of yours.
Okay. He seems lost in his own world now, poring over the paperwork I just filled out. I guess there's all sorts of tax stuff you have to deal with hiring people. Why would he do it so casually? Well, whatever, it's not my problem. I head down the stairs. Landry's back. He looks uncomfortable waiting at the foot of the balcony, but perks up when he sees me.
So?
I'll see you tomorrow, coworker.
Oh, congratulations. You can meet everybody else tomorrow morning. I'll make sure they're all ready for a meeting when you get in.
How many people work here?
Well, there's me, Graves, of course. You met Hayes. Finley, Mason, Reese. That's it. It shouldn't take too long to get to know them.
Okay, great. I'll see you all tomorrow then.
Great, see you.
Woohoo! I'm gonna live it up a little. I'm gonna paint this town red, because I finally have a job. And we get the intro scene. We gotta watch through this again. It's a really well done intro. Alright, now the intro's done, and I skipped going back home and getting Mochi some wet food and stuffing my face full of pizza and being late for my first day of work. I'm gonna skip most of the stuff going back with Avery at home, since I'm mostly interested in her interactions with her co-workers anyway, and unless dialogue changes. But otherwise I'll just skip through it and focus on the important bits that happen at a cat's paw. Here it is, a cat's paw, and we are late. I got a good look at it when I was here yesterday, but it feels totally different when it's your workplace, you know? It's kind of nice to think about. Let's meet everybody.
Hey, Avery!
Landry peeks his head out from the door frame and waves me in. There's everybody! I'm surprised by how many people are standing around. Graves, Landry, and Hayes are there, but so are a few others I've never seen. I only see a few cats right now, but they seem utterly disinterested in everything we're doing. They're all piled in the sleep cluster by the window. I feel a little embarrassed that I'm so disheveled, but I'd rather be on time with wet hair than late and looking perfect.
Good. You decided to challenge the morning sun after all. Now that the star is here, we can start this show.
Still as weird as yesterday, I see.
Caught another sucker, boss? That's esteemed co-worker to you, Reese. You just keep collecting these strays. Before we get too far, everybody should introduce themselves to Avery. Avery, we've already met, and you already know Graves. Did you meet Hayes yesterday?
Briefly. Hello, Hayes.
Hello.
He looks like he's going to try to slip between the cracks in the tile. How does a guy like this handle a job that deals with people?
Hayes is a great barista. He's a great help in the kitchen, but he likes to spend a lot of his time with the cats, too.
Hayes flashes me a quick look. The side of his mouth upturns ever so slightly, like he's trying to smile, but he's out of practice. I reach out to shake his hand, and he's practically bracing for impact. Before I reach him, a bright light flashes at the corner of my vision. Is that a camera? Sorry, sweetie. I thought I turned the flash off. I whip my head to the other side of the lineup. The girl on the end is aiming her phone directly at me. Sorry, don't mind me. I just want to commemorate our new employee. I'm Finley, and I take care of social media. I like Candid, so I'll try again later when you've forgotten about it.
Finley is also...
Graves! I know what you're going to say. Don't ruin the surprise. Graves lets out a soft bark of a laugh.
All right. You tell Avery whenever you're ready. He was gonna totally be like, by the way, she's a jelly donut, and she's our like mascot for the cafe, just so you know.
Thank you. The two in the middle of the lineup look beyond unimpressed. One is the smart mouth guy, Reese, and the other looks like someone I would not want to mess with, but would love to have on my team. Finley puts her hand on the shoulder of the tough-looking woman standing next to her. Since she's not going to introduce herself, this is Mason. She's our head chef. Or only chef, I guess. Well, nice to meet you both.
Yeah.
Finley reaches up and places her hand against the back of Mason's head. She pushes her hand forward, forcing Mason to nod. I'm amazed Mason's putting up with us. Wow, that's the most you've spoken all day. She likes you already, Avery. Mason makes a quick little noise that could either be a laugh or a grunt. Maybe it was both.
How kind of you all to save the best for last. I'm Reese, and I'm the one you'll be answering to after Graves, so you better stay on my good side.
I could have sworn Landry was second in command here, so I don't know what this kid's talking about. I didn't even see him at all during the interview yesterday. Eh?
I'm on cat...
Let's do that again.
I'm on cat detail today, but don't think that means I won't be keeping an eye on you.
Cat detail must mean taking care of the cats. Obviously. I'm learning so quickly. I don't know why the second in command would be so eager about telling me he's gonna clean litter boxes today. Maybe it's a weird status thing here. Ew. I'll be on my best behavior then, I guess.
Good. Okay, that should be everybody then. Avery, you'll be training with me today. I hope that's okay.
That's fine with me.
It looks like I'm no longer needed. I have other work to do. You know where to find me.
Hi, Graves. Love you. Graves slinks to the back of the cafe. I think I can hear footsteps on creaky stairs. Mason and Hayes disappear after him. Avery, did you have breakfast? We're gonna have something to eat before work if you'd like to join us. It's tradition.
That sounds great. I fed my cat, but I forgot to feed myself.
Reese has already seated himself at the long booth seating along the wall. He scoots two of the tables together and Landry pulls over another chair.
Great. Just sit and relax. Mason's just finishing up breakfast.
I move to take a seat, but Finley blocks my path. Avery, before you sit down, I have a question for you. Sure, what's up? Okay, is that... Her voice drops, almost conspiratorially. She leans in to whisper. That's an IKEA shirt, isn't it? He's my favorite too. A what? IKEA? From Blast Zone? From what? Look, you don't have to play dumb. I get it. No, I really have no idea what that is. Is that like a show? Is this shirt from something? Oh, no. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I'm still curious, but I'll wait for Finley's route. I just thought it was a cool shirt. Well, it is, but it's weird to buy things from games you haven't played. Oh, it's a game. I play some games, but I haven't heard of that one. I like a lot of retro games, so if it's new, I would say, it's a different type of game. Never mind. Well, now I'm curious. No, it's okay. You probably wouldn't like games about boys fighting. Or maybe you would. Okay? Maybe I'll lend it to you sometime. If you prove yourself worthy. I'm not really sure what that involves, but sure. Okay. She gives me a grin and a wink, then takes a seat at the table next to Reese. I noticed that somebody set the table while I was talking to Finley.
Mason and Hayes should be out in a minute, Avery. Come sit down.
Sure. Where should I sit, though? What if there are some unspoken rules about this sort of thing and placing? You never know with new groups. Landry answers the conundrum for me by beckoning to the seat between him and Finley. Quietly, I take the seat. Mason emerges from the back with a large tray balanced atop each hand. One tray has a giant stack of French toast, the other is some kind of egg thing. I'm not sure, but it looks amazing. Whoa. I had no idea how hungry I was until just now. She sets the trays down in front of us and then returns to the kitchen. I hope she gets back soon because I'm about to be on that egg thing like mochi on wet food. Mason returns a few moments later, cradling 6 empty coffee cups in her arms. Hayes follows in tow, carefully balancing a carafe full of coffee. They set the cups and carafe on the table and take their seats. Hayes' butt barely hits the chair, not that I was looking at it, before the others start to dig in. I'm a little afraid that I'll lose my hand in the fray if I try to jump in now, but I'm so hungry. Landry reaches out an arm from behind a fortress of French toast slices. He lightly bats at Reese's hand as it reaches for the syrup pitcher.
Save some for Avery. Jeez, calm down. You're the one stealing all the food. I haven't taken any more than usual. Breakfast is important.
While everybody shouts and chatters across the table, I help myself to a bit of everything. I'm not used to eating a real breakfast, especially one that didn't come out of a microwave, so I am going to savor this. Wow, this is amazing. Mason, what is this egg thing? Mason's eyebrow shoots up. She looks at me like I grew another nose.
Frittata.
Is that like a souffle? It looks like it'd be really hard to make.
Just eggs and vegetables in a pan.
Still, I know I wouldn't be able to make anything like that. It's really nice to have a real breakfast. What do you usually eat, Avery? Mostly cold pizza, or toaster tarts, I guess, if I remember to get them. Mason glares like I just knocked her plate on the floor. She stares directly at me, through me, with a hard look in her eyes.
You eat here now. Always.
Can I still have pizza sometimes?
Not for breakfast. Ever.
Okay, but other times are still okay, right? Mason rolls her eyes and goes back to her coffee. Bree stares up at me between bites of French toast.
Avery, when we're done, we need to talk about dress code.
Oh, Reese, don't start this again.
Shh. It's an important part of new employee orientation.
Landry passes a positively pained look at Reese. He glances at me, but a poke to the ribs from Finley sends him staring back at his plate. Landry, you're such a mama bird sometimes. Lighten up!
Avery, look at this place. We take our visual presentation very seriously here.
Hayes places his empty plate and cup on Mason's plate and takes the stack into the back with the urgency of a tactical retreat.
Graves and I expect a certain level of decor with the waitstaff.
Is this about my outfit? I woke up a little late, so...
No, this is about uniforms.
Mason pushes her chair away from the table with enough force that it wobbles briefly on 2 legs. She stands and takes my plate in one fell swoop. What is the deal with these uniforms?
Opening soon. Time to get ready.
She picks up the now empty cast iron skillet with one hand and balances a few of the other plates on top. It looks heavy, but she's holding it all like it's nothing.
Come on.
She stares me down and gestures at the back door with a head nod before she heads into the kitchen.
Don't think you can run off so easily, Avery. You'll get written up if you don't have your uniform.
But my boo's in the kitchen. Is Mason really the only chef here? That must take a lot of work. I bet she could use some help. Mostly I'm just grateful she gave me an out. Whatever Reese is planning, it doesn't sound like anyone but Finley cares for it. No thank you. I think Mason and Hayes wanted my help, though.
Humph. Fine, if Mason needs the help. But you're not off the hook for this yet.
Reese.
Oh, come on, Landry. Don't look at me like that.
Something is definitely up. Whatever it is, I'm not gonna fall for it. Well, I'll be back once Mason says I'm done. I quickly retreat back to the kitchen before Reese can delay me further.